The second group is called Marcionism, and it was in the 2nd century. They were exactly the opposite of the Ebionites. They were Gentiles and they were anti-Semitic. Marcion, he was a businessman, he was very wealthy in Rome, taught that there were two gods. There is the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament. The God of the Old Testament, his name is Yahweh. He was cruel God. He was very just, and he was only there to punish the people. And that's why he put them under the nomos. The New Testament God his name is Abba, the kind father of the New Testament. Marcion eliminated the Old Testament as scriptures, and since he was anti-Semitic, kept from the New Testament only 10 letters of Paul and 2/3 of Luke's Gospel. He deleted all the references to Jesus' Jewishness. Not only that, if we look at Christianity today and we try to talk to them about the Old Testament and we tell them why you don't apply the rulings of the nomos in the New Testament, they tell you, well, we don't live the Old Testament anymore. The Old Testament does not apply to us anymore. So they are Marcionists. That means they believe that the God of the New Testament is different than the God of the Old Testament, but of course they deny that. Tradition teaches that Marcion was excommunicated by his father, a bishop, on grounds of immorality. Going to Rome, he started his own Christian community about 140 AD. This heresy grew into one of the greatest threats to Orthodox Christianity and lasted well into the 5th century. And we can see that because of all the political situation at that time. The Romans were against the Jews and they oppressed them so harshly. And that's why Marcionism was the perfect doctrine for the Christians to adopt at that time. Adopting the idea from Gnosticism, he taught that the God of the Jews was the demiurge. He believed that Christ was sent from the God of love who has no connection to the law to bring about the destruction of the Jewish God. Marcion donated about 200,000 sesterces to the Church of Rome after Pope Hyginus died in 143. And we can tell that this is a very big amount of money. It's like $200 million in our days. Many have conjectured that this gift was actually a calculated bribe on the part of Marcion and his adherents in order to obtain the bishopric of Rome.